Well, Mayor Eric Adams has days left in Gracie Mansion. These days are numbered, with Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani set to be sworn in on January 1st. Joining me now to talk about what comes next for Adams, political analyst Trip Yang with us this morning. Trip, good to see you. So as of this morning, Adams has 67 days remaining as the mayor of New York City. This morning, he's traveling to Israel. So what do you think we're going to see from him in these final weeks?
Well, good morning. It's so good to be here and talk about this. Look, when it comes to our outgoing mayor, this week he could be in Israel. Next week he could be in Turkey. It doesn't matter where Eric Adams is. We as New Yorkers are going to be all right. Because in all seriousness, when you look at city government, there are a lot of top city officials, public servants who are making the city run. Quite frankly, this week, the city administration, as well as the city council, for example, passed a plan that added thousands of new affordable homes in Queens. That drew a lot of praise. And as we look towards the Mamdani administration, Mayor-elect Mamdani is assembling a very experienced city hall based on his transition team and early appointments that are going to be making the city run on Mayor Mamdani's signature pledge to make New York more affordable. So I am actually very optimistic about our city's future.
Let me ask you about the transition here. Mamdani was quoted as saying yesterday that even though he's got some issues with some of the things that the Adams administration is doing here in these final weeks to make his life what he feels a little bit more difficult with some of the policies he'd like to enact, he says from a transition standpoint, they have been very cooperative. Yeah. So what is this actually looking like behind the scenes?
Yeah, so what you're really seeing is that this is a tale of two city administrations. On one hand, on the principal level, clearly Eric Adams and Zohran Mamdani do not get along. It seems that Eric Adams goes out of his way to be petty and vindictive. Earlier this month, he announced a plan to, for example, make the Elizabeth Street Garden site, make it parkland that makes it more difficult for the next administration to build senior affordable housing on top of it. That's something that Mamdani campaigned on. But on the staff level, it seems like it's collaborative. Even Mayor-elect Mamdani said had high praise for it. So what you're really seeing is that in terms of the city officials and transition officials doing the work to make this city run, it seems like that's positive. But on the principal level, there is some, quite frankly, some petty politics there.
Yeah, which I think you could assume was going to take place anyway, so no surprise on either side.
It's no surprise to anybody.
Yeah. So what's next for Adams? I know there's obviously a lot of people will think one thing, that maybe there's a potential spot with the Trump administration for him. What's his future in politics look like, and what do you think happens with him in the next couple of weeks, couple of months?
Quite frankly, the legacy of Eric Adams is one of missed opportunity. In 2021, candidate Eric Adams ran a very disciplined campaign to make the streets safer and to build more affordable housing. 4 years later, his administration, in a lot of ways, made a lot of progress on those twin goals. But the reality is there's a culture of corruption. So many members of Eric Adams's inner circle went down in corruption scandals. And Eric Adams himself, a year ago, he was indicted by President Biden's Justice Department. And earlier this year, when President Trump came into office, he had vowed to keep ICE in Rikers. Many saw that as a sign of acquiescence to get Donald Trump's Department of Justice to drop the corruption charges against Eric Adams. Corruption swirls around Eric Adams personally, while he has made some really strong appointments like Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch and City Planning Commissioner Dan Garodnick. I hope personally they stick around in the next administration. So again, it is a legacy of missed opportunity for Eric Adams.
If you had to give him an outgoing grade, what would it be?
I would give Eric Adams personally, as mayor, a failing grade, but I would give the city administration high marks in certain areas, especially in the realm of developing more affordable housing.
All right. Political analyst Trip Yang. Trip, good to see you again. Thank you.